Hey everybody, it's Justin, your guide into Parallel TCG, and this is my second video, not necessarily a Let's Play. You might be wondering, okay, I saw the arguments on the timeline. I've been seeing the fight between Hearthstone and Parallel, and it may have sparked your interest to get started, kind of know where to start. And here I've compiled a couple of key resources, threads, as well as websites on how you can read up and get started. Because I know a lot of you guys that are in the TCG scene, you like to read up on things before you just jump right in. But by all means, you can just download the client and get started playing. But we'll take a look at some resources as well. So essentially, if we take a look at the Parallel website, it kind of has just to jump in, how to play, stuff like that. There's also cards, cosmetics, avatars, comics, and companions. But you guys know as well as me, like if you join a new TCG, it's gonna be a lot, right? Magic, it's a lot. Yu-Gi-Oh, it's a lot. You gotta learn new mechanics and stuff like that. But if you guys are already familiar with those things, by all means, this is gonna be not that big a jump in my opinion because it plays just like Magic the Gathering, so pretty similar in that regards. But again, if you're looking for specific guides, Jeremy on Twitter had a nice post on. We can literally just bookmark the best Parallel TCG resource with just one site, and it is at primeplaybook.super.site. And basically, it has a ton of resources, of which we're going to break into in just a second. But they also have a Discord as well, that hosts giveaways, guides, coaching sessions, and content. Honestly, the community is super responsive. Probably one of the best communities that's like just playing all the time, grinding it out. But also on the website, they also have a ParaGPT chatbot where you can kind of ask if you need instant support on like, hey, what are Earthens? How do I buy a starter deck, etc., etc. So that's useful as well. But let's just jump into the website itself. And basically, Prime Playbook is the ultimate destination for Parallel resources, tips, and guides. And this is kind of where you can find your quick links to Parallel, Echelon, Discord, the Twitter. You can take a look at all the collections from the alphas, the alpha-based echoes, battle pass, etc., and cards and stuff like that. But you might be wondering, okay, I'm a little bit too late to ask this question, but what is Parallel? If you guys, okay, it's literally a sci-fi competitive card game where players build decks and face off, bank energy, and build armies to decide the fate of humanity. And again, it is free to play. It's been in open beta since February 29th. But again, if you do use a referral code, that also gives you 2 bonus apparition packs to help you get started building a 40-card deck. But basically, I'll have that link in the description below. We'll review that afterwards. So again, getting started, there are 2 sections here. There's resources and tools, and then there are game guides, right? So the resources and tools, these are really important, especially if you are deck building, because they have a couple of deck building links. And then they also have portfolio and analytics. So if you're looking at priming, prime pools, pair set checkers, and stuff like that for analytics, by all means, you can use that if you're into the Web3 thing. And then, of course, marketplaces, GameFi, bonds are relatively standard. That kind of goes deeper into things like Echelon, Paragon's DAO, Exile, Contagion. But I'm not going to talk about that in this introductory video, right? And then they also have content creators, right? So if you are looking to just kind of see how the gameplay works, and probably not watch such a newbie video on my channel because I'm literally just getting started, just like you guys. So I mean, there are a couple other content creators with incredible game guides. Jeremy, Quinto, Austin White, Muka, Ali Straza, and the Game Seller too. So by all means, you should check those out. They have a ton of helpful YouTube guides and stuff like that. But again, they kind of go over the resources. I actually wanted to go over to the second section of the website, which are the guides, right? And the guides are really important because if you want to learn about something specific, like say, for example, the Battle Pass, you can just go ahead and click on it. And it'll basically explain to you. It's like, hey, if you decide to go and opt for the Battle Pass, you can earn cool rewards. It'll give you more EXP by completing missions and dominating in Parallel. Every month, basically, the Battle Pass will bring you fresh, exclusive cosmetics. So if you like cosmetics, by all means, that's going to help you get those. If you want more glints, too, that helps you get more battle packs and stuff like that. And, of course, you'll get 5 cosmetics as you progress to the premium track. And there are 2 killer cards included in the Battle Pass every month, and a universal card, and another that is Parallel specific. So the cards can be minted for free, with a transaction fee on the ETH mainnet to become digital collectibles. So if you are into those, if you are actually into being able to trade the cards in a trading card game, then by all means, that is something that you can go explore. So they have a ton of guides that go over things like building decks, cosmetics, earning prime, gameplay basics, etc., and stuff like glints. So that's really important too. But I also wanted to move over to another thread here by Daryl Dixon Parallel, because I'm actually going to reference this. I'm going to read a couple more guides on basically how to build a deck, right? And, where to begin, right? You might be wondering, okay, if I want to just, dip my toes in, spend a couple of dollars, picking up, just a meta deck. I mean, which ones are the best, right? And honestly, if you don't know where to start, this guide will offer you the tier of the strongest decks, 2 separate budget options to improve and build upon the starters, and a complete deck list for each parallel for you to build towards with the prime you earn from playing. So it kind of goes over that as well. And of course, the deck prices and individual upgrade card price costs. So, and then much more along the way, right? So he's played all of the starter decks and also the altered list to test their validity. And of course, he kind of starts out with, starter costs about $35. Starter decks worst to best: Augencourt, Earthen, Cathari, Markolian, and Shroud. So again, these are the factions inside of Parallel. And of course, they play it differently, I'm pretty sure. So again, $35, that's pretty standard in terms of the deck building industry, right? I mean, just buy a starter deck, bam, bam, bam. I remember going to a TCG, picking up a couple commander decks who were $35 each. So I mean, pretty standard in my opinion. So again, he kind of goes over Augencourt starter. He kind of explains everything like, Augencourt is the least desirable deck, unfortunately. Why? He kind of goes over things like, it's Augen requires synergy to work, and this can be achieved. Can this be achieved from the starter? Sure. However, Augen cards are quite expensive, and the upside you get from here is one of the strongest parallels in the deck, in the game, but it comes with an out-of-pocket cost, right? So as a beginner, right, would I recommend Augen? And Daryl says, if budget is an issue, I would avoid it, but if it isn't, then yeah. You can build towards the strongest decks in the game and you can crush your competition. But essentially, at the current price point of the starter deck, deck quality 1 out of 10, possible rank, you can also see, it goes up to bronze 2, and then it's only $35. And it kind of goes over to just like, hey, if you wanted to, take out some cards, he has that guidelines here and replace it with anything else. If you wanted to stick with Augen, by all means, he talks about the cards that you should integrate and just stuff like that. And basically, he'll also include like what the cards cost if you decide to buy them off the marketplace, and then you can kind of see the overall cost. Kind of sees where you goes up to silver too. It kind of goes over multiple budgets here as well. But honestly, I really appreciate these kinds of threads because it kind of really puts things into perspective. It's like, okay, again, if you're dropping on the master tier, right? And again, all the decks here are just if you are playing with the outcome of trying to earn prime inside the game. By all means, you can just play the game just to enjoy it on the free-to-play section, right? That's totally fine. But essentially, it kind of goes over things like if you wanted to get to master, I mean, by all means, if you wanted to opt to buy the cards, it would probably cost around 4 to 10K. That's why he mentioned at the very beginning, this is an expensive faction. But he kind of goes over the other things that, kind of covers Earthen, as well as other decks like Cathari, the starter. And it seems like they all vary, right? He talks about the differences, similar to Earthen, Cathari has an interesting build path and go a large range of different options with similar cards depending on how you tech the matchups. It also requires a large amount of skill to pilot correctly if you're using Paragon Scipius. Right, and it's probably the most versatile starter deck, and when paired with Naeus, one of the more powerful ones due to Naeus's unique Paragon ability, right? So I've been playing a couple of parallel rounds, and Paragons feel like commanders, in my opinion. But we'll just keep going on. At the very bottom, he has like I think he has Shroud at the very top. The best starter deck in the game, in his opinion, is the Shroud starter, right? With a small point to make this is the deck should be always paired with New Dawn instead of Brand due to the nature of the build. So why is this number 1? It's cheap, strong, and versatile. It beats the other decks in every way. You also provide some unique gameplay with Shroud's ability to use the Singularity. And who doesn't love to steal your opponent's cards and beat them to death with them? So you can win by turn 5 or win by turn 50, and the deck has a lot to offer. And I even witnessed a top 11 master player losing with the strongest deck of the game, all Kenchug's Workshop, to a New Dawn starter deck. So honestly, I mean, I mean, he gives us his real thoughts here. So, guides like these are extremely, extremely valuable, right? And again, it's literally $35 for a starter deck that pulls up to Diamond 5. That's ridiculous. So I may go with that one, or I may check out the other ones. And again, he kind of goes over the budget boosters, what you can add, and stuff like that. You can pull up to Diamond 3. And then of course they kind of go over things like if you wanted to deck out your deck completely, by all means, 9.5 out of 10. I do really enjoy these review rankings because, but it's just wild, right? And the cost up to $2,000, only how you want, based on how you want to spec it out, right? And again, you don't need to get too cute with this deck. You can easily reach master with 300 or less version of this deck quite easily. So again, if you guys are worried about NFTs, just being pay to win, I mean, consider that MTG. MTG tournaments. I mean, it's the same thing. People fucking deck out their cards, deck out their decks, and spec the shit out of them. Just to win those tournaments. So by all means, of course, all of the metas are going to evolve over time. So I mean, there's still options to kind of understand how the game mechanics works and how you can optimize and climb those ranks to earn more prime. So by all means, definitely check him out. You can use his referral link down in the basically he's got his referral link here. I'll also add his in the description below. But again, his content is extremely useful here. I definitely enjoyed reading through it. So again, let's talk about referrals, right? So if you do have some friends and you refer them, you do get credits for referrals, right? I'll have my referral link in the description if you want to get started. If you do get started with that, you do get 200 credits after you sign up, allowing you guys to get 2 bonus apparition packs. And that will help you get started with your deck immediately, right? You got redeemed 200. And then if you do refer more people, you can get more packs and more stuff, essentially, pretty standard. So stuff like that. So again, that's just my get started guide for Parallel TCG. I know it's been pretty hot on the timeline, by all means, we're going to have some fun with our Let's Play series. So we'll see you guys in the next one. I'll have my links in the description. You guys know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.